It's 2022. China has just invaded Taiwan. The Taiwan War has begun. Oh my god, it literally just begun. And with America descending into civil war, it is up to me to defend the island. Hello guys, this is going to be a special two-part video because oh my god, does this conflict drag out and it gets crazy. I haven't played the Asian theater yet. This is all still completely brand new to me. And oh boy, do I regret not checking this out sooner because this is actually become my favorite theater in this mod. We begin as Japan, where contrary to our past, we are a peaceful nation with an aging population. However, after the economic miracle that happened during the Cold War, it appears our economy has stagnated. But with major industrial players like Mitsubishi and Toyota, it's still one of the largest in the world. In the political scene, the LDP holds a political monopoly over the country, where for the majority of its existence, it has held a majority in the government. Oh, it has been the dominant force in Japan since 1955. Well, they've been doing a good job, I'm not gonna lie. The Japanese economic miracle was really something. After this, I began setting up the country, paying more attention to Navy than I normally would because I know it's gonna be important. Oh god, we got no rubber! Of course, we're Japan, we got no rubber. And after that was all done, I was ready to go down the focus tree. Alright, I love the colorization of the Japanese focus tree in this mod. It's so pleasing to look at, this like bluish purple hue. And our army is a total of 120k, so it's not horrible, but China's definitely stronger. If we are going to compete with China, well, we have got a lot of work to do. Oh, these guys are all like seasoned. Yo, I don't even want to touch my divisions then. Plus 50% modifier in combat. God damn, and these guys are veterans. Alright, I will not be changing my divisions much. Also, our navy isn't too bad. I don't know why the developers have laid it out like this, but when I put it all together, it amounts to around 60 boats. We don't talk about the Air Force. Anyway, the first COVID case was confirmed in Japan. Alright, deal with the pandemic. We can start add 25 days to pandemics worsens, and we can distribute masks. The pandemic will worsen every 90 days, but I can use those decisions to prevent it from worsening, and hopefully I can research the vaccine before it gets too bad. Then the oil crisis hit, but Japan doesn't have oil in the first place, so we were just in a constant oil crisis anyway. I'm just kidding, it's really bad for us because we rely on foreign oil and now that's gone. Okay, so every 200 days the oil crisis gets slightly better for us, and if we can do these decisions that will go down. So let's do the Asine oil dip. Yep, so right now the COVID pandemic is mild. We don't want to get it worse than mild. So now I have to balance solving the oil crisis as fast as I can without letting the pandemic get out of hand. Alright, the question of the Olympics. Oh yeah, 2020, it's held in Tokyo. I chose to delay the Olympics as I wanted to contain COVID as much as possible. Alright, restrict travel. We can unlock more decisions. We can restrict travel from China, the US, and Russia. The pandemic's gonna get worse. Okay, it's a moderate now. So now that negative 10% stability, 5% monthly expense, a negative 0.1 political power gain. We can't let this get any worse. Anyway, I'm already researching the vaccine, so it'll be over in no time. Now, the vaccine, 300 days, and it will decrease the pandemic's effects by a little bit. 300 days to get it back down to mild, and then another 300 to get rid of it completely. Thank God I didn't let it go to severe, or we would have had to wait 900 days. Oh, Shinzo Abe resigns. Goodbye. He definitely won't get assassinated in the future. I can continue the lockdowns. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Japan's economy survived COVID. Anime is like their greatest export, which people can just make from home. Let's just promote Japanese culture. Cool Japan. Alright, we're coming to the end of 2020. We've handled the COVID pandemic pretty well. It's going to be over by 2021 and the oil crisis is slowly coming to an end. Only good things lie ahead for the future of Japan, right? I'm kind of leaving the oil crisis. It's not that bad. So in 200 days, the oil crisis will be removed. It's not even that bad for us. Distribute masks. Okay, that's it. The vaccine will be ready before the next stage of the pandemic. Well, when I researched the vaccine, turns out I didn't need to wait another 300 days. It was just 50. By mid-2021, the oil crisis and the pandemic had gone, thanks to my genius of mass lockdowns and buying oil from Russia. Anyway, we have an election where we can choose to diverge from the dominant LDP or vote for the coalition against them. The general election is coming. I think we're going to keep it stable. So I sided with the LDP. Not that it matters, really. It's just a different flavor of the same thing. I think we have, our support is 62.5%, way above any of theirs. I mean, the CDP. Oh, we're the CDP as well, aren't we? Yeah, the second biggest party is also in our coalition, so the other parties have no chance. Anyway, just after thinking I had some breathing room after COVID and the oil crisis, there was the financial crash. Now we have a worldwide financial crisis. So economic stagnation just got worse. I use so much political power this game, it's not even funny. I have to use it now for this financial crisis. I have not changed a single law in my government. I'm never going to be able to do economic cooperation with political power. I just don't have enough of it. I'm too busy trying to stop crisis from happening. Maintain stability, the last focus. They are making moves again. We lose 3%. It's still nowhere near. We're fine. LDP leadership election. We got to choose who would be the leader of our party, and I chose the guy who gave us the most political power, which helps a bunch. Meanwhile, the American Civil War has started. LDP wins, of course, same as it ever was. New focuses are unlocked. Okay, so now we can begin. The status quo remains. I'm going to be honest, I pretty much only chose the LDP because of the colors of the focuses that you get with them. I'm pretty sure if I chose the coalition, it would be like red-orange, so, you know, not as cool as this purple-blue. Anyway, I'm pretty much left alone with China. South Korea isn't much help, they're too busy worrying about the North. Australia is really far away, Taiwan is the target, and that's about it when it comes to allies in the region. So when I saw that I could purchase American ships, it was a must-have. So I turned off auto payment of debt so I could start getting some liquidity, and saved up as much as I could to get all of these boats. So I want to start getting some liquidity, I'll pay off debt manually, and then we can purchase some of those boats, hopefully. But I would need to do it quick, because next year China was going to invade Taiwan. Alright, a new Japanese capitalism, 50 political power, much needed. Before China would invade Taiwan, however, it was time to get some allies, and I formed the Pacific Defense Treaty Organization. And the faction is everyone I said before except for South Korea, because including them would be a major provocation for North Korea. Oh yeah, I can form the Pacific Defense Treaty Organization now. I'd also saved enough money to buy some of the boats from America. Well, their naval command anyway. American destroyers. Thank you very much. And I'll probably try and purchase as many as I can. That's a lot. Anyway, I was saying we're going to need a bigger naval force. We're going to beat the Chinese Navy. We need a much bigger naval force. Those are all of the destroyers, by the way, and some I built myself. It's crazy what 45 billion can get you when you have a desperate American Navy. Anyway, this brought our total to around well over 100 boats. Oh, dude, our Navy's going to be huge. We're going to purchase all of the American boats. You don't understand. The formation of the Pacific Defense Treaty Organization. There we go. We got Australia, Taiwan, and Japan. This unlocked a whole bunch of decisions that gave the entire faction bonuses, from attack to defense and organization. First, PDTO military exercises. We conduct large exercises. That decision becomes available. Alright, I can purchase more boats. Destroyers. Anyway, I continued down my focus tree, saving up political power, continued getting bonuses, doing as much as I can to prepare to defend Taiwan. As long as I do this really well, we should have no problem holding Taiwan. Although if we do lose, I'm not going to restart. Because, you know, there's always content, even if you do lose the war. Yeah, these are the submarines we bought from America. And then we got some more boats. 30 submarines should be enough. I'm pulling back on that. We only put one factory, one dockyard. Alright, the last PDTO decision here, development of Taiwanese military surveillance. And that should be them done. Alright, let's raise the defense budget. Look at that. Doctrine cost goes down. So we just, yeah, Japanese pacifism. And then we get increased military budget. Immediately after I raised my military budget, I noticed that China was justifying war goals. I immediately sent my entire army, down to Taiwan. And we got there just in time, because as soon as they landed, they declared war and invaded Taiwan. Taiwan. We need to hold it for as long as possible. The Taiwan War has begun. Oh my god, it literally just begun. Okay. Navy. I immediately moved my submarines to do convoy raiding around Taiwan, and the larger navy with all the capital ships on strike force. That way, when my submarines spot their navy, my strike force can respond to it. Then I moved every plane I had down to Taiwan and tried to maintain air supremacy. They're going to be invading. Sure, hopefully we've entrenched. Oh, we may have not entrenched enough. What? Why is there like no dudes here? They began invading from the south, which for some reason had less divisions. At which point they landed, and when they did, I moved my entire army over. Get divisions in the port. You know what? All of them. They only invade one spot in my, I think. I don't want my navy to sink. The thing is, if our navy like dies in this first war, we're kind of screwed. I only had them to engage at medium risk. I'm not risking my entire navy for Taiwan. PLA lands in Okinawa. They've taken Okinawa. Oh my god, I didn't realize they do that. We then encountered some of their navy, in which a naval battle ensued. Victory! We did it! Oh my god, we sunk a huge part of their navy. Look at that. Not a huge part of their navy, but it was enough to get naval supremacy around Taiwan, and our convoys are doing well, not letting any supply get through. I pulled the Uno reverse when it comes to the blockade of Taiwan. They wanted to do it, but no, I'm doing it. On the contrary, my air force was getting obliterated. No surprises, I was more concerned about my navy than my air force. Like, if they destroy my air force and I destroy their navy, I'm happy with that. On the island, they had landed, but only in one port, and we were keeping them pinned there for now. I was just attacking constantly, so they don't have a chance to attack me. Okay, we won again, but like some of our guys are getting sunk, low-key. It turns out my strategy of keeping them pinned and convoy raiding was working. They couldn't launch any more naval invasions because I had supremacy, and neither could they get supply, so their divisions were slowly dying. Look at this, we're killing them. We're gonna hold Taiwan. Oh my god, they're invading. 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 Oh my god, they're the north. Now, I don't know if they had divisions rise up there or if they managed to get supremacy, but they were attacking Taipei. Either way, the Taiwanese military managed to repel it, while I continued my full attention on the main invasion in the south. Yeah, they're dying. Casualty check? Yeah, way more casualties. Anyway, the war is going to drag on to next year. This is bad news for Xi Jinping. He's going to be fired or something. Anyway, I couldn't get supremacy again, so I started fiddling around with my navy and I turned on automatic split off, but then that just decreased the size of my navy, meaning if I got into a naval battle, they would most likely die. Anyway, this war has a certain time limit. If we can push them out of Taiwan or the timer runs out, we win. And there's all these decisions I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm doing alright without them. I don't have enough political power anyway. And I don't know what happened, but China got a second wind or something. Suddenly, a whole nother naval invasion, I think larger than the first, comes towards Taiwan. See, some of my guys are dying though. That's not fun. Another invasion. Are we serious right now? Surely, oh my god, look at this navy. Look at this naval battle. What is going on? Are we winning? I think we're winning. Yep, another victory, but still a lot of boats were sunk on our side. We keep getting small victories in naval battles, but nothing decisive, and this is a problem because I'm running out of fuel. And on the ground, China is not giving up. They have just landed on the southwest coast. How long until they get war exhausted? The war ends, so we have to hold it for, we need to hold it for 250 more days. Air Force is probably decimated. After months of trying to get a decisive win against their navy, we finally got it. We just sunk their pride of the fleet. Not a single loss on our side. That's it. That's the naval war over. That's it. There's they've got no hope of superiority, naval superiority over these seas ever again. And on the ground, it was looking pretty good. The Chinese, which are out of supply, were not able to advance much into Taiwan at all. Oh, look how much they're dying now. Look how much they're dying now. Look how much they're dying now. Done. We've captured it. They're done. We took it. We just gave them so many casualties right there. And they won't launch another naval invasion again because they have no supremacy. It looks like we would be successful in our defense of Taiwan. I was confident enough to even reclaim Okinawa. Okay, we landed, thank God. Okay, Okinawa is back. Taiwan maintains independence. The largest armed conflict in East Asia since the Vietnam War has come to an end, and the Chinese were compelled to withdraw from the Taiwanese territory, including the Kinmen Islands. The news left many in disbelief. After all, China had absolute advantage in terms of comparative military and economic power. While in Beijing, the Chinese capital remained under a dark cloud as the CPC and Xi Jinping are about to face much bigger problems than their defeat. Let's go! The jubilation is short-lived, however, as it becomes evident that an even larger war across the entirety of Asia is about to take place. But for now, we will enjoy the economic prosperity and the peace that comes with winning Taiwan. Alright, we did it. We actually held Taiwan with the absolute naval dominance. Guys, I've learned Navy. This might not be the last we'll see of Chinese aggression is starting to dawn on us. New Japanese era, the triumph of the Japanese people. Let's go! New focus tree. I guess we'll just leap to prosperity. Look at that. Debt, negative 786 billion. One research slot and we get Japanese economy. The second Japanese economic miracle. It's not really a miracle if we won the war, to be honest, but we'll just call it that. While we are celebrating, China doesn't look too good. Xinjiang is burning, and Tibet is looking to break free as well. But the revanchists seize power in China, which I think are a radical military government that seek to cleanse Chinese humiliation. New leader of the free world. That's 150 political power I will take. And we have Japanese foreign policy decisions. Can we start accumulating allies? That'll be nice. New leader of the free world. So now let's unlock some decisions here. Japanese foreign policy. It's never too early to start accumulating allies as we seek to contain the Chinese threat. This small map highlights political leanings of each country in Southeast Asia. In red, more aligned to China, green is to me. And then Myanmar, which is just a basket case of a country in civil war. Surprisingly, Vietnam is green and Thailand is red. I thought those two would be the other way around. This is one of my favorite mechanics about this theater. I am competing against China to get as many allies on my side. So we can invite all these countries and do all these decisions that increase our influence and decrease Chinese influence. If we get 100, then they join our faction. So I started influencing all of the countries except for Cambodia and Laos. Also, when Pakistan and India go to war, we got to support India. All right, reinforce the Pacific Defense Treaty Organization. Let's do it. We can invite New Zealand and India. India are very important. They have nukes, but also they can't align to China. They're guaranteed to be with me. But so do Pakistan. I mean, they have nukes, but we need India. Anyway, that war started and I did everything I could to help India. I could only send one division to India, however, which really doesn't make much of a difference. And from here, it looked like India was losing. China has just invaded Mongolia. They're not going to stand much of a chance. Your last economic campaign. Increase labor productivity, and that should be all of the Japanese economy decisions done. I continued influencing countries across Southeast Asia. We can invite Indonesia already. I guess, yeah, okay. Cool, Indonesia's on our side. Invite Vietnam. Vietnam's in our faction now. Weirdly. I feel like Vietnam would have been more neutral. They definitely wouldn't ally with China or me, but I mean, I'm glad I got them on my side. Invite the independent state of New Guinea, and I can also invite New Zealand. They should join. Look at that map, it's so green. We also have the Pacific Economic Community, where I can increase exports to those countries and decrease my debt by a lot. The Indo-Pakistan War was over, which India won, which puts us in an even better position. I then completed a focus which gave me a peacekeeping mission decision, where I could send a bunch of volunteers, so into Myanmar we go. Alright, we can invite Thailand. Done. Thailand's in our faction. At this rate, we're going to have the entire continent against China. Volunteers in the Union of the Republic of Myanmar, I think that's the name. We're doing alright, it's just very attritional battle. We're winning in Myanmar. We got Cambodia. We might even get Laos. We're going to get everyone. PDTO members get even better bonuses. How could we lose against China? They can't be that strong. Oh, I can't believe I made that comment. Yes, they can be that strong. Quick reminder, like and hit the notification bell for part 2, because it's definitely crazier than part 1. Anyway, I had a look at China, and they have had a change in government. That flag, whoa. They're a technocracy? Totalitarian socialist. I read the short blurb that describes the party. It's something out of 1984. By now, I had finished the war in Myanmar, and I wasn't too hard to get them on our side, you know, considering we helped them in the Civil War. Yo, we can do like new cooperation agreement. The Republic of China becomes a puppet state of Japan. Remove destroyed nation. What is this, Imperial Japan? Why are we puppeting the Republic of China? I'm sure they'll get their freedom after the war. By 2026, I had gotten every country that I possibly could on my side. Even Laos is on my side, which is crazy. Pacific Defense Treaty completely surrounds. Alright, invite Myanmar. Look at that. Containment theory occurred and has descended across Asia. I think I got the achievement by allying everyone I could. I'm not 100% sure though. But yes, an Iron Curtain has descended across Asia, from Seoul to Delhi. Both sides have nukes as well. Don't forget India has nukes, and I think I can get them, but I'm not sure how. And now it was time to rearm. Well, rearm even further. I went down the military branch of our focus tree. And this time, I need to put a lot more effort into the Air Force. Aircraft production, which I really want, because it gives like a pretty good fighter. We need planes. They destroyed our entire Air Force in the first war, but we destroyed their navy, so it's fine. We were also making these exoskeletons, which we could add as a support company. Don't mind if I do. I mean, this is actually futuristic warfare. Our Air Force is kind of like coming back. How many planes do we have now? 6, yeah, over 1,000 planes. I was also building a lot of Marines. We're going to need them if we're going to invade China. A worthy successor to the Imperial Army. Attack and defense and military and societal development. This is a photo of one of the fighters in our Air Force, by the way. I want to train as many of these Marines actually as possible. So I won't have 50 divisions. We're not leaving it at that. I need more Marines. I don't know why I thought I was going to leave it at 50 divisions. Trust me, we're going to have well over 50 divisions. Our manpower is going to be in the millions. We didn't complete the focus, a worthy successor to the Imperial Army, for nothing. Naval invasion capacity plus 30. I need that. That is going to be important. Let's do conscription reform, add extensive conscription, and add civil service exemptions. I'm also just building as many military factories as I can. Also some silos, because we're going to be running out of fuel pretty quickly if I don't. I was thinking the war was going to start pretty soon, so I set up invasions into Hong Kong and then also just next to Taiwan. I guess we'll put a classic invasion from Japan into Shanghai. That one is just for the history books, you know, a nice reminiscing invasion into Shanghai and then into Nanjing. But we still have a lot of time to prepare. Alright, I've run out of focuses now. It's only a matter of time. I would spend the rest of the decade just lightly preparing my army. I wasn't taking it that seriously. I assumed China would be a piece of cake. But in part 2, when I begin to gather more intelligence on them, to my horror, I see that they have over 1,000 divisions and a fielded manpower numbering 10 million men. I was woefully unprepared, and the Great Asian War is going to live up to its name. This is what is coming up in part 2. Remember to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to not miss it. 915 divisions minimum. Excuse me? 5 million manpower minimum. Big war in Asia. Uh-oh. This is the biggest war I've ever... 1,200 divisions against my faction, the Pacific Treaty Organization. This is my biggest naval invasion I've ever done. Let's pray they work. Let's pray they work.